Okay, for our second lesson, I brought you to a special place in Germany. This is Berlin Tempelhof, as you can see behind me. This is a former airfield that's now a public park. Hundreds of thousands of refugees have come to Europe fleeing war from their home countries in Syria, Afghanistan, and Libya. They've spontaneously come here, and the German government is meeting them to help care for their needs, their humanitarian needs. And so here we talk about what is humanitarian work. Welcome to Lesson 2 of Designing for Humanitarians. I'm Robin Mays, and now we are talking about what is humanitarian work. Well, humanitarian work is a specific thing. It came into being around the turn of the 19th century. Two organizations, the Humanitarian League and the International Committee of the Red Cross, developed guiding principles to help end suffering of others. Today's professional humanitarian community, committed to that shared objective of reducing suffering around the world, is really robust. It's advanced into enormous industry, including governmental actors, non-governmental actors, and other diverse organizations and groups. Within this mission to end suffering, humanitarian agencies span a wide spectrum of activities. It includes negotiating peace in conflict areas or getting medical care to those on the battlefield, like the International Committee of the Red Cross. It includes commitments to groups of people, like refugees, like the International Rescue Committee. It can also include commitments to geographically located people or particular discipline, like Doctors Without Borders, who are committed to providing health care around the world, or to water and sanitation, like Oxfam International. They can be large organizations or they can be small organizations. They can be government agencies, non-government agencies, and they can even have government auxiliary roles, like the Red Cross does. What is shared about these agencies is a commitment to this nonprofit mission. This mission is guided by all sorts of laws and guidelines that have been developed over the years now. It includes international humanitarian law, human rights law, the humanitarian principles of neutrality, impartiality, humanity, and independence. And it includes the ICRC Code of Conduct. The ICRC Code of Conduct is a great place to start as a designer to become familiar with the important values that guide system design for humanitarian work. For example, Code number 2 says, aid is given regardless of race, creed, or nationality of recipients. Aid priorities are calculated on need alone. ICRC Code number 8 says, relief strives to reduce future vulnerabilities to disaster while it meets basic needs. So the system needs to be both holistic, and the decision making needs to consider these things that are part of the primary goal of the work. These guiding laws and principles are where humanitarian work and its success are defined, and can also help you to understand why for-profit agencies have not been more impactful. For anyone wishing to contribute their skills in support of this kind of work, it's necessary to become familiar with these principles. In our next lesson, we'll talk a little bit more about those conflicting differences, the constraints and the freedoms between two different types of systems, the for-profit system and the humanitarian system.